Yeah, how's it going today? 2nd of February, Friday, and we are taking a look at the market, what kind of opportunities are available out there. Previously, yesterday, we were taking a look at Scotland. I have a chart in Scotland, number of ways how we can potentially work with Scotland, right? I have received a response, so we're in the process of ironing out all the details and everything, right? While we're doing it, today's Friday. We went through. So we are working with so many people. Anyway, let's take a look at Norway and what we can do within Norway. So, if we were to establish business in places like capital, let us say, of Scotland, where we can potentially work and or establish business in Norway, if that's even an option. I had the opportunity to visit a number of places. I haven't been to Oslo. I have been to some other places, right? So perhaps if not in Oslo, we can Bergen, Stavanger, been there, done it. Amazing places, by the way. So we can either establish, perhaps capital would be great, right? Just because of the trade, and from there we can progress in other continents. And but let's try to understand process. I do understand a little bit. I don't understand that much of a language. What does it live that is sometimes trade, perhaps, so we can do something with trade. I have my own coffee, right? I have my own coffee brand, so if I wouldn't know, I would think about selling coffee to Norway, right? So, and I would be looking to understand the process of selling coffee, right? Coffee doesn't cost anything in Norway. For people who haven't been to Norway, coffee is for free. You don't need to pay anything for coffee. So it's just a fun thing to know, right? You only think about the way how coffee works in Norway. You just only thing what you need to do just purchase a cup, and all year you can drink off for free. You don't need to pay anything, right? But that's just limited of places, petrol stations, right? Just purchasing a cup, and all year, you the next year just purchase the next cup and coffee for free. You don't need to pay anything. Even if we let's start with the reason why might be a sound decision in reaching out to Norway and establishing partnership, right? For others, right? Myself, I'm just interested if I can help and establish a working relationship. That would be great. But just for people perhaps who haven't know about it, that Norway defends deep sea mining, right? So, and I think they have moved ahead with some of the plans and begin operating and mining, would be perhaps opportunities there, right? And something that was published 4 days ago, right? I wouldn't be delving deeper into this article, but that would be just an example. And if I would be able to reach out, perhaps I would begin by capital, that would be Oslo, and let's see how we can establish business there. Most likely, nobody wants to do anything as there is with everything, right? So perhaps the way how potentially could be able to reach out to. There's a government that I just managed, institution that I managed to find that would be Innovation Norway, and that would be for international companies. So perhaps if you're looking to scale and uh, establish your operations within Norway, that would perhaps would be just an example of how to do it, as well as they might be more active and English is a second language in Norway, but still not necessarily everyone would speak it. But perhaps younger people would speak English. Older people, but either way. Let's try to reach out to this organization and or read some of the information available for grants available, right? So we might be looking for establishing or having a desk space, the same targets that we're going to be looking to achieve, right? Desk space if we can. So who can offer that? Innovation, perhaps wouldn't be another way of doing it. That would be startup and innovation, desk space, and having financial support. Two things: desk space and financial support would be great. Perhaps that would be just one of many ways of doing it, right? So that would be startups, and that's a way how I'm gonna begin. But usually, I would do perhaps five, or to say the least, ways of reaching out to government institutions and see how I can potentially work with at least five. Perhaps sometimes I need to do 10 different ways. But perhaps that would be just one way of doing it. As of now, I haven't done it. While I'm doing it, I thought might as well. It would be great sharing some of my frustration, right? It should work very similar way compared to a similar way like other institutions, right? For those of you who have done anything with the government, right? So we look into perhaps the charter advisory. That would be great, right? So if we were to the charter advisory, we need to understand who is paying for this kind of services, right? If that's a special interest person, or it would be impartial advice if there's going to be advisory. But that would be a fastest way of doing it, right? So if I could secure that, it would be great. If I had to guess, right, most likely, if I were to establish business in Norway, Norway works with Germany. I would say has very close trade ties. If you would ask me, right? But let's see. Perhaps I'm gonna end up in Germany for whatever reason. Well, let's start with Norway and let's progress. Once after you establish the business, you're gonna need to establish financial services, right? As well as grants would be ideal if there is an option for those or any business of receiving grants, right? Loans are not necessarily would rush into those, but that would be just an example, right? Briefly, I was just taking a look at all the information available and structure that they have shared, right? So that would be advisor. From advisor, we have progress into financial support. And from financial support, they have progress into courses and competencies, which is great, right? Perhaps some of the things might be different compared to other regions, right? And how they operating there. Or might be important to have that understanding, right? Which is great, right? So that's a structure that was offered. See if we can reach out and or put together a letter how we can establish our business in capital of Norway, Oslo. If you're interested in learning more, I have published a book that would be in Flow, the journal. In this journal, I'm taking a look at, I'm sharing a lot of information when it comes to having a system or a tool when it comes to your daily routines and how you should uh, your time should be very important and how to use your time in the best possible way when it comes to solving big problems and optimizing your time. That would be building those routines and sticking to those from, in this case, from cover to cover. That would be 90 days. 70 would be a sweet spot. 90 should be more than enough when it comes to establishing routines, as well as with every page that would be a 24-hour window, as well as how you can potentially solve many problems within every day, and what to begin, what will be important, and some of those areas to focus on. How I publish this tool, and I'm hoping to share it with as many people as I can. You can find the QR code in the corner of the company's website below. I just prompt a couple of things, and software gave me an example of a template of the letter of how to reach out and how the letter should look like, right? I haven't read it. I briefly skimmed it, right? So perhaps it will cover more important things, right? Step one, establishing a company. Step two, debt space and financial support, right? Great. Step one, step two. Uh, I think administration staff will be able to handle this letter, right? So let's see how I can reach out, and I'm gonna be reaching out to you. Innovation, from what I understand, innovation department within Norway. So perhaps that department might be more active. Government's department, then it comes to establishing a company, perhaps they're there to solve that particular problem, right? Innovation, they might be interested, and or perhaps they would have financial support available. That would be great as well. Let's close on that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next one.